Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever it is, and thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to our Getting Started series. This is lesson 1 of this mini-series where we go over installing and downloading Python on your home machine. Now, it's worth to mention that I'm on Windows, so your installation, if you're on a different operating system, will be slightly different, but you can still follow the same set of steps. So the first thing that we need to do is go to our browser and put python.org into our search engine, and hopefully you'll be brought up with this site. And don't worry, because that link will be in the description down below, so you can click straight on that and it will take you there. And then you want to navigate over to this download section here. Now, depending on your operating system of your computer, you need to select the right download version. So if you're on Mac OS, click that, or if you're on something else other than Windows and Mac OS, click on other platforms and it will give you a list of how to install it on those specific platforms. I assume the majority of you will probably be on Windows, so there should be a nice little download for Windows button here. It's really important to make sure that the Python version that you download is Python 3 point something, as the tutorials that we're going to be doing are going to require Python 3. So, nice and simple, all you need to do is click that button and it will download a little exe for you. If you aren't able to download this version, make sure that you click there and it will give you loads and loads of releases, including the 32-bit version or the 64-bit version. Make sure that you once again select the right one for your operating system. I've just got the 32-bit version, but it doesn't really matter if your computer's 64-bit, you can have either, but if it's 32-bit, make sure you get the 32-bit version. The 32-bit version is the x86, and the 64-bit version is the x86-64. So, when that's downloaded, you can hit your exe here. And before you click install now, it's really important that you check the add Python 3.8 to path. Now, this is really important to do, because when we're looking at our later tutorials, it's going to make our lives much easier if we add this to path now. It just saves us doing the work later. So we can hit install now, and my screen's going to go blank here just whilst I have to authorize it. And as you can see, it's going to start. There we go. As you see, it's going to start installing. So Python actually comes shipped with this integrated development environment called idle, and I'll be going over that just about a minute or two. And that comes shipped with Python. So we like idle and we don't like idle, because idle comes with Python, so it makes our lives nice and easy and we can test that our installations worked properly. But we don't like idle because there are other softwares out there that make our life a lot easier. And when you become a programmer, it's all about making your life as easy as possible, so you have as much fun as possible and you can just get to programming. So if the setup was successful, surprise surprise, you'll get a little message saying your setup was successful. Well done if you're here, because you've managed to install Python. If you have had any technical difficulties along the way, do drop them in chat or put them in Google. I'm sure that we can help you find an answer. So, now that I've successfully downloaded Python, I'm going to hit my Windows button, and I'm just going to type in idle, IDLE, which is the interpreter that's shipped with Python. So, you'll be brought with the Python 3.8.3 shell, or whatever version you installed. Once again, make sure that it is Python 3 point something, because you might get a few syntax errors in our later tutorials if you're not running Python 3. When we're in our Python shell, this is where any Python that we write will actually execute. So we can write a new file by going on File, New File, and this will open up just a nice little text editor for us to write our code in. The first thing to do is File, Save As, and I'm just going to save this in my documents as Python test. And as you can see, it's changed the name up there, and we do need to save it to actually run our code. And inside this Python test, I'm just going to write print bracket speech marks hello world. Now, if you have never ran a program before, and when you've typed this, press F5 on your keyboard to run it after you save it, you'll then see hello world is outputted to the shell, which is awesome. So well done, you've just ran your first Python program, which is awesome, so good job. So if you are unable to actually download and install Python on your machine, on your home machine, we do have an alternative to use. It's not ideal, but if for some reason you are unable to download Python, you can go onto your browser again, go on a new tab, and search for online GDB. And that'll take you to an online debugger compiler of code, which is really cool, and we've used this before for our online tutorials. So when you get onto this website, and once again, this is only if you cannot download Python on your machine, you go over to language and you can select Python 3. Now you've got an interpreter just like this one here, but online. And we can write code in here, so I'm just going to get rid of this code and leave the print hello world. Then I'm going to hit run, and as you can see down here, hello world has outputted to the console. So there's sort of two options that you can go about. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Well done if you've gotten this far, because you've successfully installed and downloaded Python. It's the first step of your journey. The next 3 videos in the series are going to be going over more IDEs, which are integrated development environments, much like IDLE but much better. There's 3 that we're going to be going over. First one is going to be PyScripter. The other one is going to be PyCharm and Visual Studio Code. So the tutorials that I run, I will mainly be using PyScripter, as that's what I actually learnt Python with when I was learning how to program. So I think it's really good for a beginner. Sam will be looking at using Visual Studio Code, as that's what he loves using, that's what he's familiar with. And we'll also be going over PyCharm, which is a little bit more advanced, so that might not be suitable for a beginner. But pick which one you want to watch next, get that installed on your system, and then when we start putting out our tutorials next week, you'll be able to get straight into it. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe. We read all the comments, we try to reply to everybody. We love this community. So yeah, please do subscribe, join our Discord as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and have a good day.